Welcome back once again. Everything is actually working in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. As we speak, American military veterans of Igbo descent has actually vindicated Nnamdi Kanu by the nature of them marching straight forward to the parliament and as well releasing a particular document showing that they are now interested in Nnamdi Kanu's case. As a matter of fact, for the identification, Aloy Ejimako, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, as you could see on your screen, breaking: American military veterans of Igbo descent (AVID) urges U.S. government to support the creation of a sovereignty safe zone for Judeo-Christians in Nigeria. Remember, Remo came out recently and stated it that he is about submitting documents, files, and clarifications, evidences that have shown that the Christians are well persecuted in this particular country, and these were the things Nnamdi Kanu glamoured and stated for. Frankly speaking, it is obvious that the Christians are dominated, Igbos are actually dominated under the Christendom, and it is obvious that a lot of Igbos are actually Christians. So whenever there is an attack on the Christians, it is clearly an attack on the Igbos, and these were the things Nnamdi Kanu stated. That is the reason why he has sought for a separation and everything that is actually happening. I'm going to be showing you in full details what this particular body is doing, and this is in reaction to what Remo actually sent as a document to the US president. That's to tell you that the international community is working hand in glove in making sure Nnamdi Kanu is vindicated. I'm going to be showing you all in full content, but before I do that, listen attentively to this particular reverend father who went as far as stating it clearly that the marginalization the Igbos are facing, especially the Christians, is getting beyond hands. And this is Bishop Godfrey Honor of the Catholic Diocese of Nsukka. He has been one of the few consistent voices speaking against the plight of Christians in Nigeria. Listen attentively to him, and when we come back, we'll continue.
A number of things Christians have suffered in this country can be compared to the crucifixion of the Lord. Do we talk about the takeover of all Christian schools, all mission schools, by the Nigerian government? They took over those schools, destroyed them, turned our educational institutions into houses of formation of criminals and mediocres. People who can't write simple letters, who can't speak any language correctly, who can't solve their own problems, and won't pass any exam without cheating. And that is like crucifying, because that is a house. The school is a house of formation of character. But now because they have taken the body away. They have removed all signs of his death. Since after the takeover of schools, who has the correct statistics of the number of churches that have been burnt down in this country? Who knows how many Christians have been killed in this country because they are Christians? Some right inside the church. Some will tell you these are criminals. They are not just targeting Christians. Take it easy. How many of those who perpetrate these crimes have been arrested and prosecuted? How many of them are in jail? How many of them have faced the death penalty? The Catholic Church is against the death penalty. I'm talking about Nigerian law. But we know that if anything happens to some of those who perpetrate this crime, either in self-defense or in resistance, the government stands up. There is outrage everywhere in all levels of government. This selective outrage of government, this selective outrage of the police, of the army, of the security agencies, when innocent citizens are massacred, and when criminals are repelled, and in the repelling they die, this selective outrage is like, it's not only that they have killed him, they've taken the body away. They want to wipe off every trace. And some Christians are being provoked legitimately to react. Anytime any of them reacts, they are said to be taking the laws into their hands. But all those who trample the law with their feet, trample upon the law. They kill, they rape, they maim, they sack farmers, they harvest crops of farmers and feed it to their cattle. And when you say no, why are you doing this? It is death. And when they do that, they record it and post it to government to see. If you ask them question, you are killed. If you chase them away and while running away they die, you'll be condemned to death.
Welcome back once again. You could hear clearly that the submission of Bishop Godfrey Honor of the Catholic Diocese of Nsukka has now clearly, given the insight of what Christians are actually facing that led to these American military veterans to step in to vindicate Nnamdi Kanu and as well speak through to power regarding this particular document. I'm going to be showing you in full context, as you could see, that these are the things, the Igbos and the Christians are actually facing in this particular country. Now, As you could see on your screen, American veterans of Igbo descent, the Honorable Riley M. Moore, United States Representative, they stated, their representative Moore, remember he went as far as stating that he has investigated and he's submitting a document, to the United States Parliament over, in quotes, either for rehabilitation or what we call restructuring or probably a sovereign state. These are the reasons at which they stated this. In full context, on behalf of the American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID, a non-profit military organization composed of men and women of the Igbo heritage who have honorably served or are currently serving in our great nation, armed forces, we extend our profound gratitude for your courageous leadership in addressing the ongoing Christian genocide in this particular country called Nigeria. The coordinated efforts of chairman, they went as far as naming a lot of persons that actually made this very much possible. As a matter of fact, they went further, that your reports, findings, particularly the recognition that Nigeria is the deadliest place in the world to be a Christian. Remember that Ray Moore stated it clearly, as you could see on your screen, that Nigeria is the deadliest place in this particular country, that Christians are fiercely facing what we call clear marginalization and persecution. And it's quite funny to see Bola Ahmed Tinubu's wife denying that fact, but this clear document has shown it. Now, this particular American veterans are appreciating Ray Moore for taking the bold step. After they said that this brings essential clarity to the scale and severity of the violence. The documentation of mass spying, kidnappings, the destruction of churches and schools underscores the need for sustained and decisive action. Now, they went further. We commend you for your recent reports to the White House representing actionable solutions to end the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Your call for the United States Parliament, led by President Donald Trump as a country, to demand the report of Sharia codes and criminal anti-blasphemy laws is bold and timely, as these laws have been weaponized to silence dissent and justify violence against Christians and undermine basic human rights and religious freedom. Your commitment to protecting our brothers and sisters in Christ reflects the highest ideas of American values and moral leadership on the global stage. Thank you for your hard work in this critical cause. Now, this is exactly what they stated, appreciating that this move for you people to demand the repeal of Sharia codes and criminal anti-blasphemy law is what is obtainable. I'm going to be showing you what the northern elites came out and the northern imams came out recently and countered over this particular statement. Now, in furtherance, in the last paragraph of that particular document from the AVID, they stated, in light of the escalating crisis, we urgently request that you advocate for the United States government to support the creation of a sovereignty state. Creation of a sovereignty state, that is a state that is quite different from this set of persons being marginalized zone for Jew Christians, and push for the restructuring of Nigeria. Now, this is now telling you that they are seeking for two things, either for restructuring or for a sovereignty state. This would allow persecuted Christians to strive without fear of Islamic and Fulani terror, providing a secure space for them to practice their faith and contribute to regional stability. This initiative aligns with Americans' commitment to self-determination, religious liberty, and protecting vulnerable populations, representing a significant step towards addressing the ongoing genocide. We stand ready to provide any additional information, veteran perspectives, or testimony that may assist your efforts. Respectfully, this is exactly what they stated as their clear document. Now, when AVID made this particular document, replying Ray Moore, appreciating him and telling him that they need the sovereignty state or probably restructuring if the masses are going to probably choose one. Now, in reply, these northern elites, northern imams went as far as making this statement. As you could see on your screen, they stated that America asking for the removal of Sharia in Nigeria, and Nigerians Christians supporting this must know that they are inviting a problem that could divide this particular country. This is exactly what they stated. Now, they are not looking at the reason why this AVID sent this message to Remo to extend to the US government that made them to intervene. They are only looking and giving an order. You could hear clearly. And it goes a long way to tell you what gives this Shaka Gumi the effrontery to make a lot of statements. Look at Shaka Gumi stating that you are not different from a terrorist if your plans is to drop a bomb in the bush. You are putting innocent people at risk. Ending this insecurity can only be done through a gradual process and through negotiations. Shaka Gumi blasts the military plan to bomb this Boko Haram and bandits hideouts. You now see the effrontery this set of persons have. Instead of them tackling the reasons, look at what happened in Yelewata in Benue. People were unalived in this particular country, and it is obvious. We're not even talking about the fact that, as we speak, the American missionary Alex Babia has actually been detained 48 hours in Yelewata after rebuilding homes for Fulani massacre survivors and proposing 60 million market rebuild. He just dropped a video exposing government lies and other things. I'm going to be showing you all of that probably in the next video. This is actually what is happening. You begin to ask yourself, are the Igbos, what are actually their reason, or what is actually happening? This is exactly what is happening. I decided to bring this to your view. Remo is actually moving further to make sure that they are actually seeking for the reduction on persecution on Christians. Now, regarding this particular sovereignty state or probably restructuring, get to the comment section. What is your view towards? Are you in support of the restructuring, or are you in support of the sovereignty state? React on the comment section. The majority is going to carry the vote at this point in time, because adversely they are looking and seeing exactly the reactions reacted on the comment section. Don't forget to share, like, and also hit the subscribe button if this is your first time meeting this channel. Do it often and always subscribe. Share this video so that it will get viral. At the end of the day, vindication for Nnamdi Kanu is obtainable, because everything is working in hand in glove in making sure this man is victorious ahead of his appeal. Don't forget to share. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.